Jessica Frost Ballas here with a video for lawnfawn. Today I'm sharing a fun Halloween card with a subtle shaker element, so let's get started. First I'm creating my spooky background for my Halloween scene. I've die cut the Leafy tree backdrop portrait and stitched Hill's borders from black licorice and black glitter cardstock, and I place it over my panel of Strathmore Bristol smooth cardstock to get an idea of the layout of my card. Then I take a circle I've die cut from masking paper and temporarily adhere it to my white cardstock to create a mask for my moon. I use a paper towel to press the mask into the cardstock without leaving any oils from my fingers on the panel. Next I create my night sky by blending wilted violet, blueprint sketch, chip sapphire, and black soot distress oxide ink onto my panel. I blend over the mask without having to worry about it soaking through. I blend all four of my colors, going back and forth between the different shades until I have a smooth transition between each color. Once the panel is dry, I splatter it with water and shimmer spray and blot off the excess to create stars in the sky. Then I carefully peel off my circle mask. Next, I take the rest of the masking paper I die cut the mask from and adhere it to my full panel. Then I use Hickory Smoke Distress Oxide ink to add a little shading to my moon. I also spray it with water and shimmer spray to create a little texture. Then I carefully peel off my mask. As you'll see, my blended panel wasn't totally dry, so it did tear slightly when I pulled up the masking paper. Thankfully, it was in a spot where my tree would cover it, but if necessary, I would have just added another colored image, or at worst, blended another panel. I forgot to do this myself, but when covering a large area with masking paper, I recommend first sticking the masking paper to your shirt or pants to pick up a little fuzz and help reduce some of the stickiness. Next, I stamped images from Fox costumes before and afters, and the new Purrfectly Wicked with Copic-friendly black ink. I stamped the little bird and his witch hat from Fox costumes, and the rest of the images from Purrfectly Wicked. I colored the images with different shades of gray and a little blue that matched the background sky and contrasting yellow. I used cool grays on the cauldron, hats, and spoon, and toner grays on the kitties. I started by coloring the entire image with my lightest marker, then added a little shading with the darkest marker. I extended my shadows with the lighter markers, and then finished by going over the entire image with the lightest marker once more. Once I finished coloring, I die cut all the images with the coordinating dies. I arranged all of my images onto my scene and then figured out where I wanted to add a shaker element. The Purrfectly Wicked set has 2 steam or bubble options for the cauldron, and I thought the steam would be great for a sparkly shaker. I arranged the stamp over the die so I could figure out the layout and then placed it on the moon. Once I knew where I wanted it, I taped the die in place on my panel and ran it through my die cutting machine. Then I placed the blended panel over a panel of white cardstock to line up the steam stamp. I heat embossed it with silver embossing powder and then added a little shaded lilac distress oxide ink over the embossed image. I sprayed it with shimmer spray for a little extra sparkle and then buffed the embossing clean with a dry cloth. Next, it was time to create my shaker. I applied tape around the die cut area and then adhered a small piece of acetate over the opening. On the stamped image, I applied foam mounting tape around the image and then sprinkled in a little chunky and prisma glitter. I had to block the camera a bit, but I stood up to make sure my view was clear and then adhered the blended panel over the shaker and pressed firmly to seal it. In retrospect, I should have added a few tiny shaker balls or sequins to help move the glitter around, but I think the embossed image is still obvious. The glitter just doesn't move as much due to static. Off camera, I stamped a sentiment from Fox Costumes with embossing ink and heat embossed it with white embossing powder. Then I added the tree and hills and adhered all the images to create my Halloween shaker scene. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, I'd love for you to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. Be sure to subscribe to the Lawnfawn channel for even more crafty inspiration. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, have a fantastic day and happy crafting. Bye!